You know, us Islanders were here less than 24 hours ago in a live chat, enjoying each other's company, and we mentioned the Florida case. We mentioned the CDC and what could happen next. We expected to hear something very, very soon. And less than 24 hours later, we've heard something. There is an update on the Florida case. Let's talk about what it is and what it could mean for cruising right now on Island Time. Welcome back to all you Islanders. I hope you are having a great day. No matter what you're doing when you're watching this, you're at work, maybe you're on a break, you're at home, you're enjoying this before bed. We hope that you have just a few minutes of your time in your busy day to relax with us on Island Time and enjoy some island news and keep up to date with what's going on. There's a ton going on, and most of it has been positive news. But there's a wrinkle in that. It always happens. Just last night on our live video, we talked about how everything had been quiet regarding the CDC. Expect a move from the CDC in the coming days, this week. And all of a sudden, here it is. We knew it was coming. The CDC has weighed in on their reaction to the Florida case. We're going to get to that in just a minute, so stay tuned. But I do want to point out a couple of things. For those of you in the path of Tropical Storm Elsa, we are thinking about you. We are praying for you. We hope that the damage is very limited. The wind damage, rain damage, flooding is very limited to our friends in the Caribbean islands and, of course, to those in Florida. We're thinking about you and praying for you, and we're keeping our eye on that storm, how it impacts, first off, people, and secondly, how it impacts cruising. We will update you on both accordingly. Despite the tropical storm, it's been smooth sailing. It really has been smooth sailing the last several days at a time when everyone has their eyes on the cruise line industry waiting for something negative to happen. There is some negative news we'll get to in just a second, but at first I want to point out the different ships and where they're at today. Very quickly, the Horizon is in Ember Cove, beautiful Ember Cove today. Passengers got off the ship. It is a port that is supposed to be requiring you wear masks unless you are in the water or eating or drinking. We will see how closely the port officials there and the local government enforce that. We're waiting to see that today, but the Horizon is there in Ember Cove. The Carnival Vista is there in Roatan. Mahogany Bay, Honduras. What a beautiful port. It's really developed over the last several years. You can get off the ship, walk 200 yards, get on what we would think of as a ski lift. I think they call it a magical flying chair. It's about a 5 or 6 minute ride, depending how many times they have to stop and let people on and off each chair. And you drop off in the sand. If you've never been to Mahogany Bay, which those of you on the Carnival Vista this month, you're going to Mahogany Bay, buy a ticket. You can do it before your cruise or when you get on board or when you get to Mahogany Bay. But the ski lift, the magical flying chair, drops you in the sand. One of the most unique ports that Carnival sells too. The Celebrity Edge is in beautiful St. Thomas. If you haven't been to St. Thomas, it is absolutely stunning. The mountains coming up out of the water when you arrive is beautiful. And the Royal Caribbean Freedom of the Seas is having a sea day today. They are at sea. Let's get to Florida. We knew that news was coming this week out of Florida, and it did. News is here. It was not the news that we were expecting by any means, as the CDC and the federal judge, Stephen Merriday there in Tampa, Florida, and the state of Florida, they've all been trying to work on a solution for months. But just a couple of weeks ago, if you remember, in late June, the federal judge ruled in favor for Florida. And it said that the judge said, his decision said that the CDC did not have the power to have all these restrictions on cruise lines. They could not require vaccinations, and they didn't have the power to oversee cruise lines as they were currently doing. And Judge Stephen Merriday, he ordered that these regulations that were on cruise lines from the CDC would then turn into recommendations similar to those of airlines, casinos, hotels, etc. And it was a huge win for Governor Ron DeSantis and AG Ashley Moody. The state of Florida was happy about it. Cruising had restarted in Florida, and the judge had given the CDC 2 weeks to leave the table, regroup, come up with a new set of things they wanted to focus on, and they wanted to oversee and come back to the table with the judge in the state of Florida and see if something could be done. And we really thought, honestly, especially with the progress we had made in cruising restarting, we really thought that is what would happen. We thought the CDC would come back. They would say, okay, here's the things that we're really concerned about, and we want the power to oversee. And that is not what happened. Today, the CDC has continued fighting. They want to appeal the decision of the federal judge in Tampa and take it to the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. And they've asked Judge Mary Day for now to rescind his decision on these items being recommendations and for them to be restrictions again. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, because we'd already seen, as we know, cruise lines are cruising. They are cruising out of Florida, and the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit is going to now be in charge of this case. We'll see if Judge Mary Day reverses his order while the appeal is heard. Not sure if that will happen. Sometimes it does happen, sometimes it doesn't. If you know anything about how these processes work, I'm not sure. Since he's already ruled in favor of Florida, he may not rescind the order. They may stay in place. But the CDC argues that its cruise regulations fall under its broad authority to protect public health, especially in public emergencies like COVID-19. So what's next? That's the big question. We report what the news is. What's next? Here's what's next. Cruise lines have not joined the lawsuit. I am by no means saying that they are going to join the lawsuit, but they are actively, right now, as we're discussing together, they are on the high seas. They are sailing, the music's playing, the food is cooking, people are laughing, sunbathing, eating, talking, drinking right now. They've provided data to Judge Mary Day, and of course that helped Judge Mary Day make his mind up on his decision that cruising is safe. Could we see at this time cruise companies join Governor DeSantis in the lawsuit against the CDC? Maybe so. I know that a lot of times they don't want to be caught and grouped in on suits like this, but the cruise industry lobby, the CLIA, Cruise Lines International Association, they've been asked about this today, this afternoon. They have not responded to it. But could this be a time when cruise lines have already proven that cruising is safe around the world? They've started from the United States and so far have proved it's safe. Do they speak up? Do they protect their business, their customers' desires? We shall see. Not sure about it, but we will see. One thing that I do know is that Royal Caribbean's one of their branches, and you know it as Celebrity Cruise Lines, they already have a workaround to the Florida law. And you can remember when the Celebrity Edge started, and Celebrity, which was big the whole time on saying we are going to be vaccinated, we will be 95% vaccinated. They retracted that just a few days before the first cruise left out of Florida in late June, but they did so in a particular way. The company called passengers in the week leading up to their cruise, and of course they've had a couple now, to confirm their vaccination status. And they reminded them before their cruise to bring their card with them. You can probably imagine that most of those who were on the Celebrity Edge, of course, were vaccinated because they thought they had to be, but of course they brought their vaccination card with them. Those who did not volunteer their proof of vaccination and bring their vaccination card to show to Celebrity had to go through different check-in procedures. They had to go through testing, and they have different privileges on board, even if they're vaccinated. If they did not provide their vaccination card, they have a different cruise experience. And so that's how Celebrity has got around the bill, and it may be how other cruise lines get around it as well. They may do something similar to what Celebrity has done. It is proven to work, as now Celebrity is on their second cruise, going to be on their third very, very soon. So it's going to be interesting to see, first off, what will Judge Mary Day do? Will he rescind his decision? We'll see. I don't see that happening, but we'll see. And then, what does the timing look like for the U.S. Court of Appeals, the 11th Circuit? What does their docket look like? Are they going to get to this case in a couple of weeks, 2 months, in the fall? I think there's some public pressure to get this case done quicker rather than letting it sit on the docket. We will see, and hopefully we have an update for that. Usually when events like this take place, we know pretty soon a time period where this case will be picked up and heard. Of course, when it's picked up, that doesn't mean it's going to be decided quick. The court has to hear the case from the side of the CDC and from the side of the state of Florida. And honestly, if it's delayed a little bit, if it gives 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, it only helps the state of Florida, because eventually cruise lines, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Celebrity, they're going to prove that what they're doing is working. And the state of Florida can use that data to say, hey, why do we need to take a step backwards? Why does the CDC need to have this power? We are cruising and it's working. So it's going to be interesting to see. You know that we will follow every single minute of it, and we will share to you not just the news, but our experience, over a decade of experience of cruising, and we will share what implications come from the news that we share. We have all sorts of things planned this week. We will have a live show. We had one last night. We will have the one also this week. I will announce that day tomorrow. And we already have so many things to share with you tomorrow. We'll see what the news brings. Of course, we have to wait to see what happens. But we hope you have a great, great Tuesday night into Wednesday. And hey, we're almost halfway through the week already. Stay with us, subscribe if you have not, and we will see you tomorrow right here on Island Time.